you seen Star Wars?
After what feels like months, if not even years, because of this pandemic of being locked down, of waiting, we finally got the trailer for Season 2 for The Mandalorian. This came as a surprise from Disney and Lucasfilm. It literally just dropped on the morning of September 15th, 2020, without really indications or hints that it was going to happen. And I have to be honest, I'm pretty impressed with the trailer. I feel like, well, one thing I did know going into this season with Season 2 is that the budget for it was around the same, but since they had already built so many props and they had Baby Yoda already ready to go, so much of the stuff that went into the cost of Season 1 was no longer relevant. A lot of the stuff they put in for Season 1 was already kind of factored into Season 2, so now they put higher visuals, higher effects, and higher sets into this one, and I'm extremely excited to see what they can do with Season 2. And even the opening shot of the trailer, in my opinion, was pretty impressive, and you see how the ship for the Mandalorian, Din Djarin's ship, is kind of crumbling. It's kind of falling apart, which to me kind of visualizes for us as an audience that this is going to be a different kind of tone for Season 2. And we actually have more of a mission to go for. We have an overarching story that we're truly going to involve ourselves with, and they even hint at what was said in the last season of Season 1 about looking for the Jedi. And that's kind of the goal of what to do with the child, or as people call him, Baby Yoda. We even see Tatooine in the trailer with the Tusken Raider and the Bantha, and some people think that the snow planet that we're seeing is Ilum, which is a planet that was featured in Jedi Fallen Order, and that's where Starkiller Base is built. And you even see a person in a hooded figure, or hooded role kind of thing, and a lot of people think that this is a Jedi, and possibly, and what's odd to even think is that during this timeline, Luke Skywalker is training new Jedi. That could be one of the new Jedi Padawans that Luke is training during this time that the Mando is probably looking for. He's looking for a Jedi to take Baby Yoda and help him become a Jedi, which is kind of odd to think about because Baby Yoda ages at such a slow rate. It would be curious to see who is going to be involved with his training. And the planet that they see this Jedi, potential Jedi on, looks like Mon Cal, or the Mon Calamari live there. If I'm getting the name wrong, I apologize. But you even seen X-Wings there. You see Mandalorian on a ship, which is also new to the Star Wars universe. He's visiting the original planet that we saw in Season 1, where Cara Dune and Greef Karga are greeting him at. You also see stormtroopers inside of what seems like a Star Destroyer, and you hear the classic Death Star alarm, or Star Destroyer alarm. I just call it the Death Star one because that's what I recall it from. And it seems to me that with Season 2 so far, with what we've seen from this trailer, is that this is actually going to focus a little bit more on the actual story of The Mandalorian. Because Season 1, 4 out of the 8 episodes kind of felt like filler. Little spin-off episodes that really didn't affect the overarching story of the entire series and show. And I know that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were doing that a little bit intentionally to kind of get us familiar with the universe of The Mandalorian, or at least the feeling of that show. And I feel like this season, at least from the trailer alone that we've seen, it's still sticking to its traditional roots of truly feeling like authentic Star Wars, like he lived in Star Wars universe, and all the planets that he's visiting do feel interesting. Like I said, that snow planet looks like Ilum to me and a lot of other people, but it also feels like an actual Star Wars planet, and seeing him kind of explore that adds a little bit of the interest into what's happening in that episode and what's going to happen in this season. We didn't see anything with Boba Fett, we didn't see anything with Ahsoka Tano, even though some of those scoopers were saying that Ahsoka Tano was going to be in the trailer. It's starting to question the validity a lot nowadays. But still, this season, in my opinion, is going to be extremely well, at least from what we've seen so far. It looks very engaging. It looks like the story is actually going to be more fleshed out. And seeing with a Mando on a boat is funny, in my opinion. Seeing him with the X-Wings and the way they were flying in the clouds, that looks really cool. It also means he's probably going to be teaming up with the New Republic in some sense, maybe to help himself find the Jedi for the Mandalorian, for the baby. And just in general, I feel like this is kind of the vibe a lot of Star Wars fans want from the future of Star Wars content. This isn't so heavily focused on the original trilogy, but it still has that feeling of originality to it. Even that part where you see, I can't remember what they're called, but these two alien guys basically fighting inside of a boxing ring. To me, that just speaks levels and volumes. I love MMA, I love boxing, and so seeing, Star Wars actually kind of iterate that in some way, it's very fun. It's very fun. And seeing the alien that was even talking to him look so natural when he talked, it gives me hope for this season and makes me excited to see what they are going to do. And even seeing the humor of it, where Baby Yoda closes his little dome so he avoids all the conflict and everything. I just think that's really funny, and I just think that this show is really kind of gearing up for a grand story, and John's even hinted at this of telling a story kind of like Game of Thrones in a sense, where every character has their own big backstory that we can learn on, and I'm excited to see how this expands the Star Wars mythos. And what's also something that people have teased on Twitter, at least some of the Star Wars authors, one of them named Jason Fry, he says that in Star Wars, at least when it came to the authors, even with the expanded universe and legends and even the new canon, the species of Yoda was kind of like a very guarded thing to do. You couldn't really explore their history or how they came to be, and it looks like The Mandalorian is actually doing that. And that to me also adds a lot of interest on what will happen with Season 2, on if we'll actually learn more about that species, what their actual name is, Baby Yoda, Yoda, Yaddle. I mean, even though Baby Yoda is literally just called the child, but everyone calls him Baby Yoda. I really want to know more about that, why that species has no name, how they, I wouldn't say reproduce, but how they come about. I mean, what's the reason they're born, and why there's so few of them, and why do we not know anything about them when it seems like we know almost everything about the Star Wars universe? And why does it seem like out of all the three that we know, they're all Force users? I just think there's a lot of questions that we have for The Mandalorian Season 2, mainly what's going to happen with the story. Some people are speculating that the part on Ilum where, or we assume it's Ilum, you see Mando kind of kneel down by Baby Yoda. Some people say that looks like a parting scene, where he's kind of sending the little kid on his way, and the question would be, who's he going with? Who's the child going with? And I hope they don't part ways, because I think it really adds a lot for the character of Mando to constantly look after this child. And also, I like what they said in the trailer of, wherever he goes, I go. I think that speaks volume on the kind of uniqueness on how this relationship works between Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian, where he is literally the babysitter for this child who is older than him. It's just funny to think about it in that sense. But still, I think the trailer looked beautiful. I think everything about this show is so far perfect and doing great. I cannot wait to see what Dave Filoni and mainly Jon Favreau have in store for us for Season 2. But comment your thoughts below. What was your favorite part of the trailer? What's your speculation for the next season of The Mandalorian? A lot of people are looking at that person with the hooded robe and on that Mon Cal planet, basically saying that could be Sabine. Some idiots said that it was Ahsoka. Some people think that's a apprentice to the Luke Skywalker Jedi Academy. We really don't know, but it's not a coincidence that they were talking about the Jedi when they showed that person. So we'll see what happens. But tell me your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. Thank you all for watching this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe, because it does help out the channel. I will see you all next time, my friends, and may the Force be with you always.